agree with that. I feel like he is a tough nut to crack, but we'll see if that is going to be tough enough. As we have spawning up at the top right for Storm Gaming, it is Epic.
On the bottom left-hand side, his opponent spawning for Berserk Esports, it's FoxeR.
Yeah, he is definitely the underdog, but I think for all the reasons that we both mentioned, like, it's certainly not impossible to beat him. The thing is, the interesting thing, and I was talking to Uppatry about this, about TVT specifically, and he mentioned that part of what makes Clem good is that even though we think of TVT as this like chess match where, you know, it's very slow and methodical and it's very strategic, there are a ton of little micro things to do in every engagement in TVT, and each one is a little bit different than the other because Marines move so fast, because they do so much DPS, because tanks are such a huge contributor. You know, one or two auto turrets going down in a fight can tilt it one way or the other. Like, there are just so many little things that can massively impact who wins a TVT engagement.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. There is just a lot of nuance here in this matchup, and there's a lot of multitasking as well, and positioning and posturing and whatnot. And yeah, that's always really fun to watch about the TVT. There is also one of my favorite things about TVT actually is the air control fight. Like, I generally speaking don't love a lot of like the design of like some like air units like in StarCraft 2 actually, like where they can get oppressive and whatnot. But in TVT, I feel like when it's like, yeah, air is where we're playing this, and there's that Liberator tension and whatnot, and the Vikings and the Ravens, like it feels like there's basically enough of an air arsenal of like counters and sub counters and like what they're trying to accomplish and specialties that it feels really fun.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the dynamic of the TVT air war is really intriguing, and I actually think it's really cool in addition to just the Viking versus Viking war. Obviously, you've got like anti-armor missiles, you've got Marines that can gun down from below, but a sleeper thing in that whole interaction is what Liberators can do.
Oh, AoE damage?
Yes, exactly.
You're
when you
crazy.
get an anti-armor missile in there, it can be so strong. So strong. And then the Liberators, they shoot so many times, it can be really effective. By the way, Epic with a great little snipe on his opponent's SCV, able to delay his opponent's command center initially, and then delay it a little bit more. So already a nice little edge for Epic without a whole lot happening.
Yeah, for sure. Just minor stuff, but you know, like it adds up for sure. That's very much of what StarCraft is about. It's like minor details time and time again. And yeah, I mean, this is a pretty cool skin on the Cyclone.
Yeah, it looks like it belongs in the Warhammer universe. It's got knives on the side for some reason, even though it fires like rocket missiles out of missile pods. It's like, well, okay, but what if we're in traffic and we want to push a car out of the way?
Yeah.
Now they can.
Now they can. Yeah, before they couldn't.
They couldn't before, but now they can. Now you're going to think twice about, you know, picking a fight with that weird box thing.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to the poor tank. Don't even look at him. Like, the Cyclone is very nice. The same set of skins for the tank. I wouldn't buy it on its own. Let's just put it that way.
My favorite is that they put actual swords on the side of the BCs. And
Really?
I think it might be this same thing. Oh, we've got the Raven. It just, more than anything, it just has a bad coat of paint. It's just missing paint on it.
Yeah, they erased stuff.
Yeah.
For this skin. Yeah.
That's like the distressed jeans, where like they just have a bunch of holes in them, and everyone's like, yes, I will pay you $90 more for this. And I'm like, okay.
Oh. Okay. Distressed jeans.
Yeah, the ones that just have like big rips in them.
I see. For some reason, I thought you said jeans, as in like jeans.
Oh, like G-E-N-E-S?
Yeah, like yeah.
Yeah, my parents have some distressed jeans.
Where is this going?
Oh, look at that. One of them doing a little bit of crocheting in the front. That's nice to see.
What's a crocheting? What are you doing today to me? Crocheting.
It's like knitting, but fancier.
Fancy.
Little
These
siege
nasty
tank.
tanks are gonna go across. They look like meat wagons from
They
Warcraft
do.
3.
Oh, they have swords on the front too. Man, they just put swords on everything, didn't they?
Yeah.
It's kind of, it looks pretty. Swords even on the guns. Everything's a sword these days. This is going to be a pretty strong looking push out of FoxeR, actually. It's 3 tanks to 2. If FoxeR can find himself set up on the production, could get a pretty nice engagement going into the mid game. Oh, these Ravens are a little bit on their lonesome.
Yeah. I feel like FoxeR felt like maybe Epic was waiting there for him. He could have jumped on that opportunity. Epic, I think, was just looking to posture because he was dropping the CC. He wasn't expecting to find FoxeR there. But usually when you go up a ramp and you see another army, you're like, oh crap. Like they're set up for me.
Instinct is to be like, we do have 3 Ravens to 2 in favor of FoxeR. FoxeR doesn't have stim, so he's got to be real careful, and that might result in him going back home here. Ooh, that's a really nice siege position. Okay, but Epic saw just enough of the army with the edge of that scan at the end. Ooh, these interference matrices.
Yeah,
okay.
They're trying to bait each other. Okay, here they come. Now auto turrets would be nice, or interference matrices, I guess, is the weapon of choice for FoxeR. I mean, he uses a lot more energy than his opponent. Does gain the position and a couple of SCVs, but all in all, it's just a reset. So energy-wise, the trade is better for Epic in some sense. He's unsieged.
Marines. Oh man, but those siege tanks and the Cyclone actually body blocking a lot. That is going to allow these siege tanks to really do better than they should have been able to. Epic will ultimately clean it up, and it's still good for him. But that on paper should have been so much better. The Cyclone and the siege tank really bottlenecked his Marines. Ultimately, it still goes in the favor of Epic. Actually, how many Oh, wow. Okay, never mind. It went way in the favor of Epic. It is now 2 Ravens to 0 when it was before 2 to 3.
That's tough.
But it is a big worker lead. Epic, I like what he's doing here to try and kind of equalize the worker count. And FoxeR is not at all prepared for this. This actually might just end the game.
Not even close. I mean, there's not enough Marines. Maybe he could have pulled SCVs towards it. There we go. So this might be enough, but the eBays are really working against them as well. Let's see if FoxeR can get a cleanup here and how effective he would be at doing that. It looks like he cannot even get the cleanup, much less effectively. So this should be it, yeah. The Satch.
That is really sad because he did kill a lot of workers, and if he could have gotten on top of this and locked it, maybe there was a chance, but obviously losing 25 SCVs, having your 1-1 denied, yeah, he's going to be forced to tap out, and Epic will take game number 1 and keeps his hopes alive. I mean, technically they're both still alive for now, but obviously you're thinking more than just winning one map. You want to win the whole series.
Yeah, for sure. It's really unfortunate the position on the E-base as well, right? Because that really didn't help his case. You really want a lot more open areas for the SCVs to do what they can. And in terms of like the units that landed, it was mostly tanks and a handful of Marines really. So the SCVs would have been amazing, but yeah, when you can't get into those chokeholds because you put your E-base there, it's literally just unfortunate because it's not like, it's not like a bad decision to put your E-base there. It just so happened that the drop happened there.
Yeah, and it's just really painful to... I don't know that he would have won that game anyways because he was really far down on army supply and he was going to lose a lot of SCVs regardless on the counterattack. But yeah, let's imagine a world where those E-bays are in the main instead. And so then 1-1 finishes as well. Maybe he only loses, 12 SCVs and the worker counts are now reset and it's all of a sudden a pretty even game.
Yeah.
But, oh, never mind. It said rating on cats as in you had to join. I was like, no, we're ready.
The classic, yeah. I thought it was in game, but it wasn't the other games too.
Oh, true.
Hest.
Good job from Epic, though. He just looked a lot more confident with his moves and a lot more assertive as well.
Yeah, for sure. FoxeR had some moments for sure, though. Unsieging all of his tanks on the other side was unfortunate. Like, used a little bit too much energy. from the Ravens at one point. Yeah, I feel like I feel like in that moment where Epic looked like he wanted to engage, if FoxeR just drops like 2 interference matrices or even just a couple of turrets, right? Like I think that's better in the sense that you bait the engagement to happen and it looks good for him. But as it stood, I mean, he used a lot of energy and then his opponent disengaged, and then yeah, there was plenty of opportunity for him to get dislodged and counterattack that. It's tough.
Yeah. That was kind of rough, but we have Spawning down in the bottom left, decisive and clean with his play. It is Sidestorm Gaming's Epic.
And all the way from Tennessee, in the top right-hand side, it's FoxeR.
Yeehaw, you heard?
Yeah.
Should give little cowboy hats to the SCVs. They do have some weird... They got something weird on them, too. They got like an extra exoskeleton on those SCVs.
Oh,
They got spikes on their shoulders, too. Man, this is...
That's actually kind of cool.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah, they look much better than the tanks, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And the Ravens.
It also looks like it would be difficult to get into that suit, though. It looks very dangerous. Like don't touch that suit, you know? Like, it's...
Yeah,
it's real
see
spiky.
what you mean.
Yeah. You got to be very careful when you...
Because these are people, right? Like, it's...
Yes.
Yeah, there's people in there. Unlike the mules, we're not sure.
Yeah, and... I mean... Yeah, that's... like, going to the bathroom's got to be a nightmare with one of those suits, you know?
That is true. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that being pretty annoying.
Yeah, like, I just can't imagine.
Very annoying.
Can't imagine that. It is going to be a 1-Rax expand out of FoxeR. Oh, can Epic get there before? Yes, he could have, but instead he's actually going to let it happen. Okay.
Very interesting decision.
Yeah, I would have thought that like he'd buy a couple extra seconds since the Reaper wouldn't pop out right away, but maybe he just wanted to save his SCV for sure.
I guess.
I feel like even 5 extra seconds would have been kind of nice, you know?
It would have been really nice because, yeah, maybe your opponent drops the base off location and then all of a sudden, you know, like they have to float it. It's more annoying.
Yeah, exactly. Just a couple of small knives on the shoulder pads there. Honestly, I think they should add more knives to the Reaper.
Oh, the Marine here has a little bit of a Goomba. Is it a Goomba that I'm thinking about?
Oh, wow, look at that helmet.
Oh, wow.
That is
he
like...
turned around.
Yeah, it got shy. That's okay.
Mapu, look at the helmet. Wait, even Mapu cannot turn to that side of things?
No,
even
but...
Mapu can't?
Oh, wait, is that a mohawk? Is that helmet like protruding out from the side? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it is. It's like it's like one of those Spartan like leaf hat things. Leaf hat? I don't know what they're called, but they're on the top.
I know what you're talking about. Feather, like
feather,
the feather
yeah, feather. Oh, nice grenades.
Nice grenades indeed.
Anything? No.
Not this time around. I'm surprised the Reapers are comfortable there. Okay, now the Hellion is here, so that makes a lot more sense. Oof. Lineup clips one of those Marines. The Reaper grenade finally puts on some damage the other way. FoxeR fighting to dislodge this that fast, as the Cyclone should be the piece that allows for that.
This is, yeah, that Cyclone will pop out. Finally, the Reaper goes down. It ends up being Reaper for Reaper at the end of the day, but he does scout that it's a Cyclone. I think he already knew that based on the fact that there was no tech lab started, but this is going to be a 4 Marine tank drop. And while this has kind of fallen out of favor a little bit, on a map like this, where the natural expansion is in your main base, so you can siege the front ramp without anything getting in your way, unless you're like engaged before you get there. So there's going to be 2 depots and a reactor that are heavily threatened by this push. Oh no, and it's a super depot too. If Epic just goes right at the front, this could get real ugly. Oh, okay. This isn't how I expected him to kind of do this. Oh, that's a funny siege position on the ramp like that. Oh,
hilarious, even as the tank is gonna get... Oh yeah, the tank is gonna get blasted here as the units of Epic will encroach. And now on the other side, I mean, there's an auto turret to be dropped here. The tank can siege if it chooses to... Medevac, Medevac, you want to go after the Medevac, my boy? Not fast enough.
If he could have gotten that medevac, that would have been huge. Oh, sieging up there.
Oh, wow.
Nice move from FoxeR. Gets the lock on. Epic leaves it just a little bit exposed, and FoxeR with a heads-up block on. Gets the kill.
Yeah, very nice. Very important as well.
Yes.
So FoxeR taking a little bit of a lead here in terms of workers, and yeah, just generally speaking, like, has had some very nice plays so far.
I would have really liked Epic to, instead of where he put those tanks, I would have really liked to see the siege tank be put just in range of the two depots, and not just because obviously we know that it's a high yield depot, but I feel like he didn't need to go as far in with that, and I feel like he gave his opponent the opportunity to defend as well as FoxeR did.
Yeah, most definitely. No, Epic continue to try to siege here, only with the one tank on the low ground. There are Ravens available.
Good quick unsiege from Epic means that he's not going to lose the one siege tank there, and unfortunately, Billy the Marine getting kicked out of the medevac says you're the odd one out. You got to walk back, but... Oh, actually, no, you don't even get to walk home. You're going to scout is what you're going to do. Don't worry. Your pension plan covers you very well. Your family will be well compensated if anything should happen. But
that is a good thing because, yeah.
Yeah,
I've heard that, like, they're prisoners usually, no? Like the fact that they get any health benefits or any benefits to their families and whatnot.
Oh.
I'm supportive of.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. It's important. That one unfortunately was not insured. That's
Not
just too
insured.
bad. Oh,
So you like the Canadian system, is what you're saying, basically.
I mean, I as someone who lives in Canada, I do, but I certainly don't want to get into it on broadcast. That is for sure. That is what I do not want to do.
For sure.
Yeah.
Let's not.
FoxeR does enjoy a really nice economic lead off of the one racks expand. When that goes unpunished, when you don't lose any workers, you usually end up 4 to 5 workers ahead in the mid game, and that's exactly what we've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 medevacs coming out here. Many more Marine on the way. Supplies very even all throughout this game. 3 Ravens on either side, 4 tanks on either side. I mean, the worker count very similar. This is a very, very even game right now, right? Like, it's like they got pretty much the same pieces to work with. They got similar timings on the upgrades. It's gonna be just that chess match about positioning, about initiative, about tricking your opponent, and finding the leap into a good fight.
Absolutely. Speaking of faking out your opponent, FoxeR, I was casting one of his games in the weekly. He did twice in a row in the same series. And I think he even did it against Hero Marine, but it didn't work the way that he was hoping it would. It just wasn't, he was too far behind. But he did this fake 6 medevac drop where he flew 6 empty medevacs into his opponent's like 4th base, like through the 4th base into the 3rd. And he baited like so much army out. It was really cool to see. I don't think we'll see him do that here.
Whoa, what happened there?
Oh, he got very much caught off guard, and instead, Epic with the jump almost finds the
Oh my, oh jeez.
fully loaded double tank medevac. Oi, 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 oi. Well, that's...
Not even Mapu can do a rewind right now, right? Like, but I feel like he was not even on attack move, right? There was a move command where the army were, yeah, that was nasty.
That was brutal right here. Now Epic is taking the initiative that his opponent has kind of given him a little bit. One of the Ravens, I think, did go down during that whole thing. Yes, it did, as well as one of the tanks. And now Epic is going to be able to encroach on this base. This might actually just be the series here.
It looks like it. I mean, even enough.
Wow,
yeah. I mean, a lot of Raven energy being spent here to try to make something happen, but it's not going to be enough. FoxeR is out of this game and tournament, unfortunately for him, I believe. So that's tough, man.
Yeah, that is really rough right there. Oh, man. Up until that point, this game was dead even. But this is why we rate Epic, you know, as highly as we do. And this is why we said he was the favorite. Consistency. It's consistency throughout, and it is solid play from him. Unfortunately, FoxeR got caught, like you said, maybe on a move command, and his reaction time was just not right as fast as it needed to be, and that's all it takes sometimes at this level. Epic cleanly handled the whole follow-up behind it. couple of tanks going to take a little while to siege up, but it's not going to matter in the slightest. Yeah, he's even able to still keep all 3 tanks alive and kills the other tank. Epic will take this series, and he will survive to fight another day. That day is going to be tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, that's exciting for him. Unfortunate for FoxeR, who does not survive to fight another day. But it is one of those seasons where he makes it into these groups.